Now this is kind of an irregular video, I guess, but I saw these at 2 a.m. this morning, because that's what, I got a Steam gift card. I was trying to figure out what to buy, so, I was up looking at the offerings, and I saw these in the search. There's 2 DLCs for Hoi4 being released in Q2 2026. Now this is a focus pack. It comes with focus trees for Czechoslovakia. Now it says here, the Allied betrayal of Czechoslovakia, Munich, and the later German annexation of the country is a key moment in the historical march towards World War II in Europe. But imagine a world where the White Lion of Prague was prepared to face German aggression. Bravery in the face of opposition. Explore the scenario in Peace of Our Time. A new focus pack for Hearts of Iron 4. Created in collaboration with veteran modders Logan Spicy Alfredo Calkins, Abbas Fung, and Margin 211 Void. Sorry about that, I have tough times pronouncing names like that, because my friend that knows how to pronounce names like that refuses to tell me how they're pronounced. So, sorry about that. So I apologize, Mr. Margin. This focus pack offers new options for Czechoslovakia and the desperate fight for survival against overwhelming odds, posing a unique challenge to all Hoi4 players. Hearts of Iron 4 Peace 4 features include a democratic national focus tree surrounded by non-democratic nations. Safeguard Czechoslovakia's freedom by forging your own faction, government in exile, or pursuing the independence of Slovakia. Communist path. Spark a socialist revolution to replace the failed middle path, joining the Comintern or uniting the region under your own federation, whether through radical struggle or moderate reform. Monarchist and fascist national focus paths. Really, I don't think these two things should be bundled, but I guess if they're like the Beaumontians from No Step Back in Poland, with their fascist king, so maybe if they're doing something like that. Rally national forces to establish a new kingdom of Bohemia, or embrace military dictatorship and expand your influence through allies or subjects, and decide whether to entrench authoritarianism or return to democracy once the crisis has passed. Master your arms industry, become an industrial powerhouse, and shape conflicts across the globe by exporting weapons abroad. New arts, including 3D depictions of historical Prague Castle, Abundance Castle, and new equipment graphics, and new focus icons and character portraits. Engage with the divided nation mechanic to solve the challenges of governing a divided democracy. A new army confidence mechanic forces you to ensure that you have the support of the military. I mean, that could be kind of interesting if they're not doing like a balance of power like they did in what was that DLC called? Everyone knows what it is. It's an Italian DLC. It's the one that added planes. If they're adding new full mechanics, I could already see how this could go, in like the Fire Rises, with like them ousting Biden or kind of with the Atomwaffen and their paths. So whether to go accelerationist, extreme Christian, or extreme Satanist, I could already see an altered form of this mechanic being used. Really, they shouldn't even call this a focus pack. This is just like this adds more than just focuses. It's mainly focuses, but it adds new mechanics and even, 3D models to the game, so, But besides that, I saw another one. Hearts of Iron 4 Thunder at Our Gates. It's a so-called theater pack. It's basically a rework of Together in Victory, yeah. For Oceania, anyway. And it also releases in Q2 of 2026. So it looks like we're going to be getting a lot of Hoi4 stuff between late spring to middle summer. Step into the heart of command in Thunder at Our Gates, a theater pack for Hearts of Iron 4. Expand on the art of organizing a campaign with new features such as military headquarters and navy captains, as well as unique content for nations caught between rival empires, Australia, Siam, and Indonesia. I'm guessing these so-called navy captains are just gonna be like the equivalent of, oh fuck, I can't remember what they're called. But, they're the guys that you can group several armies under, usually like 5. Hearts of Iron 4 Thunder at Our Gates include Australia focus tree. Support your allies across the world and hold fast as the last bastion against Japan in the Pacific. Or make use of your unstable political climate to change your course entirely. Siam focus tree. Turn rival nations into pawns. Exploit great powers to carve out your own empire in the Southeast Asia. Indonesia focus tree. Steer the course of Indonesia's future. Remain under Dutch rule or seize the moment and fight for independence alone. Or under a new patron. I'm guessing that's gonna end up being like Japan. Military HQs. Deploy your generals where they matter. Wield local command and support your troops through synergies and updated command abilities, proximity, and new division design features. I wonder what that'll be. Like, maybe a total rework of the division designer, but I want to get my hopes up with that, considering half of like the DLCs have just focused on adding said division designer to different things. You know, first it was ships, then it was tanks, and then it was planes. What they mean by it, I wonder if this is gonna add an infantry equipment designer, which, I mean, that'd be interesting, but you know, I wouldn't get my hopes up with that. That's just mainly me speculating. I'm guessing they won't do that because they, you know, didn't say like a designer, you know, a new designer. They said a new division design features. Ship captains. Named captains lead your major ships. So far, it's mainly 2 upcoming DLCs after No Compromise, No Surrender are a rework of Czechoslovakia and a rework of Oceania. But they're not really reworks because they both add integral features like a reworking on how command structures work and division designers, and if we go back here, you know, army confidence mechanic and, you know, new art. So yeah, I could definitely see this going somewhere, but you know, knowing Paradox, you know, ooh, that's kind of a toss up there, you know, some of the stuff they make's really good, and then the other half of the stuff is like, I guess as the angry video game nerd would put it, half of their other stuff is a cow fucking piece of dog shit. So yeah, and besides that, they're adding models for warships, but coming in Q1 of 2026. That will most likely just come in expansion pass 2, which these, it appears both of these are actually coming in expansion pass 2. So really, it more just appears that they wanted to shift the workload off of No Compromise and No Surrender and have focus more around Japan and Manchuria. Which, you know, really that ain't a bad idea. No less integral Australia and like Indonesia and Siam were. You know, from, you know, just the major perspective. Yeah, they did a lot, but you know, from the major perspective, they, you know, no one up like, oh yeah, at most they go like, oh yeah, the Japanese occupied Indonesia, or Siam was an ally of the Japanese, or that, you know, the Japanese did failed landings in Australia, or like the British had most of, and the Americans had a lot of their navy in ports in Australia. But that's mainly what it's saved to. And even looking at this, it's basically appears to be the same thing. You know, one thing I'm really worried about with this upcoming DLC is the new military doctrines, the total rework. Oh, they don't have an image up here. Maybe it's in one of the dev diaries, but you know. But it's a total rework, and I just feel like it might just end up, like, the faction thing's good, but I think the military doctrine thing, I think it's gonna end up killing most of the metas, which that could, you know, drastically change the field on both single player and multiplayer, considering multiplayer has been the same slog of tanks with dozer blades and quote unquote not space marines. So, you know, potentially, you know, it could both be good, and, you know, it could both be really bad, you know, considering, like, I wonder how that's going to end up going with mods that have, like, their own custom doctrine tree, like Old World Blues, for example. You know, they have that whole thing set up there. I wonder how that'll go. Or will they just adapt to, like, like how it's set up. Which, I mean, you know, that could be interesting, you know. But so far, those are my thoughts on the upcoming DLCs for Hearts of Iron 4. Actually, and before that, I have one thing I kind of gotta plan. A DLC for ships that seaplanes land on. Ships that are charged to seaplanes. Why do the... It's like 3... Yes, 3 ships. 3 ships. Why? This is either gonna be like... It's probably gonna be a $7 DLC considering all the other armor pack DLCs. So they're basically charging $7 for 3 3D models. Like, what type of shit is that, man? But yeah, and I think this is where I'm gonna leave it off here. So, stay alright, and don't waste all your money on Paradox DLCs, I guess. Bye!